Good day to all the bears.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today's topic may not be quite a happy topic. Our topic today we're going to talk about is your Filipino wife is not your slave.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in the Philippines 6 years. This has been something that has kind of bothered me from some things I've seen. I've seen some foreigners come here with their wives, and I haven't liked how I've seen how they treat their wives, especially in public, because that's all we see. We don't see how they are at home. But what I've seen in some of these foreign Filipina couples, I don't like. And um, every time I see that in public, I'm always reminded of a story. In 1994, I was in my surgical technician school in Bethesda, Maryland. We were getting ready to finish our last 3 months and we would graduate. So everybody was excited. We had to be in the operating room every morning for those last 3 months. So the stress level was kind of high. We we were going to take a break. It was lunchtime. All the students were in the lunchroom.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were in the lunchroom, there was a gentleman, an American. He sat down in the lunchroom. He didn't have a lunch. Everybody else was taking out their lunch. And he sat there and he told everybody in the room, there were probably like 40 students in the room. He told everybody, he said, everybody, I want you to see this. I want you to see this. Watch this. Watch this. In about a minute, in about a few minutes, watch this. He kept telling everybody, watch this. And we were like looking at him like, what is he talking about? So in a few minutes, in comes, he said, oh, let me back up a bit. He said, my wife is coming. Watch this. Watch this. My wife is coming. So a few minutes later, a lady walks in, which was his wife. She looked Filipina. She was Filipina. You could tell, or at least I could tell. She came in. She had a bag in her hand, and the gentleman, the American, was sitting down at a coffee table. I'll never forget this. This story sticks with me to this day. And every time I see what goes on here in the Philippines with foreigners and Filipinas, it reminds me of this story. And so she took this bag to her husband, and he's sitting at the coffee table in our lounge with 40 students in there. She opens the bag. She takes out a container. The container had adobo in it. She sets it in front of him. She opens up the lid. Then she reaches in the bag. She grabs pancit, opens up the container, sets it down perfectly right in front of him. She then gets a napkin, folds the napkin, puts it down next to him, and then she reaches in, grabs a couple utensils, puts them down right on top of the napkin. Then she reaches in, she grabs a soda, a wrapped soda. It was in tin foil. She takes it out of the tin foil, and then she opened up the can of soda and set it in front of him on the table. And everybody's watching this because he told everybody beforehand, he said, I want you guys to see this. So we're watching this, right? And so she sets it down perfectly right in front of him. She kisses him on the forehead, and then she doesn't even say a word. She just walks out. And what he does after this infuriated me. It got me so angry. I was so mad. He then looks at everybody in the room, and he did one of these, babe. He smiled and nodded his head at everybody in the room with this look like, and it could only be interpreted one way. He was smiling and looking at everybody like, look, this is my Filipino wife and my slave. Look what she just did. She laid out all my food. She even opened up my can of soda. And man, I was furious. I was so angry. I was one of the few Asian guys in there. I think there were a couple Filipino guys in there. They didn't say a word. There were a couple girls in there who voiced it, and they said, "Man, that ain't right." So I wasn't the only one who noticed it. They kind of told the guy, "Man, that wasn't right." But then after that, nobody said anything to him because we were on our final 3 months of school. This was a very important portion of our school to graduate, and we didn't want to get in trouble. Nobody wanted to argue with anybody. Everybody was focused on their schooling. So it bothered me. I could not say a word. So we were to be in the operating room that afternoon. And everybody had assignments to their operating room surgeries. So I went to the list and I found out where this guy was, where he was going to do his surgery. So I saw his name and I made sure that my surgery was done. Luckily, it was finished. It was a quick surgery. We were done. And I knew what time his surgery was going to finish. So when his surgery finished, he came out of the room and I walked up to him, babe. And I said, "If you ever pull a stunt like that again, I am going to cut your ball off." I told him, and he had his mask on still from being in surgery. And I could see his eyes got big. They got huge. And from that time on, I never said one word to the guy. All I know is he never did that again. He never brought his wife in to bring him food and act the way he did. He never gloated that his wife was doing all this for him. He never did that again. I would, if I saw him, I always avoided him. And more of the case was he just avoided me because I wasn't having it, man. I didn't care if I was in school. I didn't care. I was like, I wasn't going to let this guy get away with it. And so I say that story to tell my foreign guys who are married to Filipinas, your Filipina wife is not your slave. She is your lifelong partner. She is your love. She is the one you chose to be with you for life. And so I'm going to have Janice share to me most of the characteristics that a Filipina has. And you tell me if I am wrong. I know I'm going to be right in most of these characteristics. Maybe there might be some Filipinas who don't have this, but most of the Filipinas that we see here in the Philippines, and everybody can agree, you will know that most of these characteristic traits of a Filipina are true. Please name, babe, these characteristics that a Filipinas have.
So most Filipinas, we are very caring.
Mm-hmm.
We are selfless and very hardworking. We are also resilient, humble, and we are happy by nature. We love to smile and laugh even if we have problems.
That's true.
And we are very loving with our family. We're very protective.
With the children. They're loving towards their children.
Yes, and we are very generous.
That's right. They'll give you the shirt off their back. Loyal. Yes.
Yeah, of our love. And we are kind.
Very kind.
Yeah, resourceful. We can provide something that is not there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And we have strong faith.
That's right.
Yeah. And we have this strong family bands, connections.
Mm-hmm. Strong
and
family
we are
bonds.
very hospitable.
Yeah, very hospitable. So that's all of them. Yeah, babe?
Mm-hmm.
So that is what a Filipina is. She has those very strong characteristics that are healthy for a relationship. Now, if you can't, as a not American, a foreign husband, see that, then you're missing out because she's the best part of your life. And so we just had a few bullets. And don't get me wrong. There are times you are going to argue with your wife. Man, me and my wife, we argue all the time. That Filipina comes out, and you know I'm half Mexican, half Filipino. My Mexican comes out, man, it's like the Mexican-Filipino war, man. We're just going at each other, man. We're just like, so Arguments happen, disagreements can happen. That happens in
Yes.
every marriage. I don't believe there's not one marriage that doesn't have an argument.
Yeah, it's not a perfect
It's we're not saying that your relationship should be perfect, but what I'm saying is our message is to the foreigner who is married to the Filipino: respect and love your wife. So here I came up with a few. We came up with a few bullets that we believe you should pay attention to. So go ahead.
Yeah, you should treat your Filipino wife with the utmost respect.
That's right. Don't call her over all the time. Don't be like, hey, come here. I've seen that here. I've seen some foreigners just like call their wives like if they're a dog or something. Hey, come here. I need you over here. Come over here. Don't do that. That's your wife. All right. What else? Never take advantage of their kindness and generosity. They will take their last piece of chicken off their plate to make sure that you are full, to make sure that you are cared for and taken care of. Don't abuse that. Don't expect that. Don't say, well, my wife will do that for me. She'll always take care of that. No, don't take it for granted of their generosity.
Your Filipino wife will support you even when you have completely made a fool of yourself.
Is that true, babe?
Yeah, very true.
That's true with me. There are times where I made myself a fool and my wife pulls me out of a bad situation. So you know that to be true. You foreign husbands, you know that's true. Your Filipino wife will pull you out of bad situations. Many times your Filipino wife will protect you from dangers you can't even see yourself. Just the other day, we were doing our video here in Silang. We were walking down the street and I had to constantly stop the video because Janice was pulling me off the road. Get off the road. Get off the road. Your Filipino wife knows. She knows when there's a danger in front of you and she'll tell you. And a lot of times, a lot of us foreign men, we're just stubborn. We don't want to listen to them, right? Listen to your Filipino wife.
Many Filipinas are not vocal with the I love yous and show their love through their actions. That is our love language. We don't say I love you often.
Man, babe, that is oh so true. A lot of Filipinas, they don't tell you, honey, I love you. Maybe some, but a lot of the Filipinas here in the Philippines, of course they're in the Philippines. A lot of Filipinas, they show you through their actions.
Yeah.
They go to all lengths to make sure that your food is prepared perfectly. That you have everything. You have your water. You have your food. Babe, can I get you anything? Man, they'll just put it. They won't even say anything. You know, a lot of Filipinas, they'll prepare the men's clothes. They'll go get their shorts. They'll get their shirt, their socks, their shoes. They'll put them all ready for them. They'll make sure it's ironed for them without even the husband having to tell them. So that is the language of love a Filipina offers their husband with nothing. They don't ask for anything in return. So don't take advantage of it. That is their language of love. And last, we're going to leave you with this. A Filipino wife is not your slave. She is your lifelong partner that represents you. Love her, respect her, and recognize that her place in your life is right beside you, not behind you.